helped. Noah's wife helped too. They found the best wood. They measured the wood very carefully. They cut the wood into big planks. Then they hammered the wood together. Bang, bang, bang went their hammers all day long. It was hard work, but they worked together. The boat, the ark, grew bigger and bigger each day. It was very, very long. It was very, very wide. And it was very, very tall, like a floating house. It had many rooms inside. It had one big door on the side. It had a window at the top to let in light. Some people from the town came to watch Noah build. They pointed and whispered. Some even giggled. "Why is Noah building such a big boat on dry land?" they asked each other. "There is no big river here. There is no sea." But Noah just kept on building. He knew God had a very important reason. Then, the most amazing thing started to happen. God told Noah it was time to gather the animals. And the animals started to come, 2 of every kind of land animal and bird, a boy animal and a girl animal. Can you imagine? Big, tall giraffes with their long necks, mighty elephants with their floppy ears, strong lions and stripy tigers, little fluffy bunnies and tiny squeaky mice, birds with colorful feathers, animals that crawl like turtles, animals that hop like kangaroos. They came from the forests. They came from the mountains. They came from everywhere. It was like a giant, wonderful parade of creatures all heading for the ark. Noah and his family welcomed each animal. 2 by 2, they walked onto the ark. The lions roared softly. The monkeys chattered happily. The birds sang sweet songs. The dogs wagged their tails. The cats purred. Noah made sure every animal had a cozy and safe spot inside the big boat. It was a lot of work to get them all settled. Think of all the food they needed. But Noah and his family were gentle and kind. They were getting ready. The ark was almost full now. They were waiting for God's signal. They knew God's plan was about to unfold in a big way. When Noah, his family, and all the animals were safely inside the ark, God himself closed the big door. It was a special sign. It meant they were protected. Then something new began. The rain started. At first it was just a little bit. Pitter-patter on the roof of the ark, like a gentle shower on a spring day. But then the rain came down harder, and much, much more. It rained and rained. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights without stopping. That is a very long time for rain. The water on the ground got higher and higher. First, it covered the green grass. Then, it covered the tall trees. Soon, it covered the small hills. And then, the water rose so high, it even covered the tallest mountains. The whole world was covered in water. But the big ark, with Noah and everyone inside, started to float. It bobbed up and down on the water. It was like a giant bathtub toy, but much, much bigger and stronger. It was the only dry and safe place in the whole wide world. God was keeping them safe, just as he promised. Inside the ark, it was a busy place. Noah and his family had lots to do. They fed all the animals, they gave them fresh water, they helped keep their spaces clean. The animals were mostly very good. Sometimes the little monkeys were a bit too playful and swung from the beams. Sometimes the big lions snored very, very loudly at night. But everyone was safe and together. They listened to the rain outside. They trusted God to take care of them. They waited patiently for the rain to stop. They hoped to see the sunshine again soon. After a long, long time, the rain finally stopped. What a happy moment that must have been. Hooray! But even though the rain stopped, there was still water everywhere. As far as they could see, it was just water. The ark floated on the water for many more days. Noah was patient. His family was patient. The animals were patient too. They knew God was still with them. They knew God had not forgotten them. They would look out the window often, wondering when they would see land again. They were waiting for God's next instruction. One day, Noah decided to see if there was any dry land. He opened the window and sent out a bird. It was a brave little dove. The dove flew away out over the water. It flew and flew, looking for a place to rest, but it came back to the ark. That meant there was still too much water. Noah waited some more days. He was very patient. Then he sent the little dove out again. This time, when the dove came back, it was carrying something special in its beak. It was a little green leaf from an olive tree. That meant trees were growing again. Land was near. Everyone on the ark cheered with joy. Finally, after many months, the ark rested gently on the top of a mountain. The water went down, 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 little by little, every day. Soon, more and more dry land appeared. It was safe to go outside again. God spoke to Noah. "Noah," God said, "it is time. You and your family and all the animals can come out of the ark now." Noah opened the big door. He and his wife and his sons and their wives stepped out onto the fresh, clean earth. Then came the animals, 2 by 2, stretching their legs, blinking in the bright sunshine. They were so happy to be on solid ground again. The very first thing Noah did was build an altar. An altar is a special place to say thank you to God. Noah thanked God with all his heart. He thanked God for keeping them safe through the storm. He thanked God for the new, clean world. He thanked God for his wonderful care. God was very pleased with Noah's thankful heart. God loved Noah very much. And God made a very special promise. A promise to Noah. A promise to his family. A promise to all the animals. A promise for everyone, for all time. God said, "I promise I will never again cover the whole earth with a flood like this." And to help everyone remember this important promise, God put something beautiful in the sky. He painted a wonderful arch of colors. It was a rainbow. With all its pretty colors, red and orange and yellow and green and blue and indigo and violet, God said, "When you see the rainbow in the clouds, you will remember my promise." So now every time we see a rainbow, we can remember. We remember God's big love. We remember God's special promise. It's a happy sign from God telling us He cares for us always.